Hello and welcome to round one with Bant Human Knightfall. This is a pretty darn good first hand. I believe, this is kind of interesting. It depends on the matchup, but whether I deploy Champion or Noble first, Oh, we're playing against 8 rack, huh? Or no, this is Burn, sorry. This is the different 1-mana nonsense enchantment. The Shrieking Affliction is the one I was thinking of at first. So we're playing versus Burn. So, oh well, okay, that makes my decision pretty easy. Just thinking through, I guess I can expose Knight to like a bolt or whatever. It's not the worst thing in the world. Whenever you lose life for the first time each turn. Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to try to ramp out as fast as I can here. In theory, just turn 3 my opponent. If my opponent was playing like Death Shadow off of this land, I think I would have led on the Champion. I think I would want to slow roll the Knight as long as possible. Yep. Okay. Kind of don't want to play the Knight into an exposed Rift Bolt. So I guess you can retreat. And then this fetches a forest. This gets untapped twice. That brings me to 6 mana, which isn't quite where I want to be. Trying to think what the odds are. My opponent probably doesn't have a creature, otherwise I would have played it earlier, I feel like. Probably want to be mana efficient. My opponent, one second here, I gotta look at this chat real fast. Their hand size is so low because they have the Gaunties in play, so I'm effectively at 14. Maybe I'm okay just taking a Rift Bolt to the Knight. Yeah, that's probably okay. I can Company next turn. Yeah, and I think... I guess the other option is playing the Breeding Pool. Playing the Champion. That actually doesn't sound half bad. I like that. Well, I'm not jump blocking. If I take an extra couple damage, that's fine. Targeting me, that's perfectly fine. So I can do Retreat Mayor, which I think the right play is just Company. I guess the right play is either Company or Knight. I don't want to attack my opponent because I don't want to guarantee the trigger here. The problem is Knight isn't quite lethal with the way I have things set up. I guess I could go to 8, play... Yeah, that's 3 fetch, untap, play Knight. Could do that. Threaten lethal next turn. Or I could just Company. My opponent threw a lightning bolt in my face. I kind of want to play the Knight here. Blue, green, this. Retreat. There is a forest in my deck. Yeah, cool. I guess I could have saved that to tap my opponent's creature. Yeah, I think this is okay. The only problem is if my opponent has a lightning bolt, I'm in not great shape. They could get the bolt on the knight and then they attack with this as a 2. I'm kind of forced into jump blocking. Um, yeah, that's fine. If my opponent has 2 burn spells, I'm in pretty bad shape anyway. I guess I should have switched this block, actually. If my opponent has 2 burn spells, this is pretty bad. They can also Boros Charm to double strike. That was a mistake there. Oh, they're just... Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I have to one-shot my opponent before they play another burn spell. So I think the play is Collected Company, untap Noble, play Thalia's? Or is... Let me think about this. Thalia's is worth 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. It's worth 5 either way. So I think spreading the damage is a little better. Leaving this around I think is worse than casting it. So let's try this first. So I probably want to witness the company, because I'll hit the most creatures that way. I don't think there was a way around not having the knight die there. Yeah, there we go. So I need my opponent to have no cards they can cast. And also... Yeah, this is not looking great. Yes, I would like to do that. And then... Thalia uses a bunch. They need to have no way to lose life and no cards they can cast. If I blocked with the champion last turn, I'd be at +3 life minus the champion. The knight would still be dead. I think that's a slightly better spot. Okay, well, we're still alive. That's good. So the ideal draw is a fetch land, and I think I kill my opponent. So they get to block these 2. Those are the biggest 2. I think another company's the best, because if I hit a witness, I then kill my opponent. I should have... Oh, well, that's pretty cool. So is that lethal? Any order... Goblin Guide was the last one they played. Think that's the right one? Think I want to bounce Swiss Spear? Yeah. So they're at 16. They get to block 8, and they take 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So not quite enough. So I have to pass and hope they brick. I guess if this had 2 more counters on it, that would be +1 damage, which wouldn't change any of the math. Well, I believe my opponent lost the game. That was pretty darn lucky of me. So I believe Mayor is actual full-on lethal. That was extremely lucky. One card worth noting for this matchup that I don't think I have is Lantern Scout. I'm pretty sure that's lethal. My opponent dies with this on the stack. Cool. Yeah, great card, Gonti's Machinations. 1 mana, do nothing. So let's get this in there. Did that jump it? There we go. That's good. Negate's pretty good. Bordy and Thalia as well, and Forge Tender's nice. I like all these cards. I guess boarding in more spells and boarding in Thalia kind of sucks. Not huge on retreat in the matchup. The combo does take a fair amount of life to go through. I think Knight kills them relatively fast too. Yeah, this is a bit of a nombo. Let's not Thalia on the draw. Leaving the one I have. 31 creatures. I boarded in extra 1-drops. I think I want to board out Avacyn's Pilgrim, just one of. Um, it's a lot of Path to Exile, even though they're quite good. And let's shave a Witness. It's kind of a longer game card. So I could shave a Reflector too. Possible Knight isn't even that good anymore. Like without the retreats, I have to fetch. There's only 8 fetches in the deck. It's kind of slow. There's not like a big whammy to get. I'm going to win via like the build-up creatures here. I don't think I can ever cut Collected Company, so... Yeah, this is... kind of... I wonder if Path is better on the draw than Negate. Yeah, I think that's true. My opponent has the 1-drops that I have to stop from incrementing damage here. This looks okay. I'm not the most excited by it. Mayor might be worse than Knight. Let's switch that around a little. There we go. I do like that cutting Thalia makes my sideboard, like actual Bant cards, a lot more powerful. Yeah, this is a pretty great keep. We have answers on all angles. My opponent has a creature. I'm definitely pathing. Yeah, Goblin Guide. So I'm drawing Knight. Does that change any of my lines? No, it's just best to path that to save 2 damage. I only regret that if I hit, like... I don't even think that... If they idle on me, that's not the end of the world. Jeez, okay then. One of these draws. I don't really know what I'm supposed to do about that. So, I want to hit a spell off of my next draw step. So, in order to do that, I would like to fetch and path before, because then if I'm going to hit a land on top... I've done this math before, but basically if you want to hit a spell, you fetch before the guide trigger resolves. If you want to hit a land, you fetch after. It's basically like, if there was not a land on top, you get to shuffle and potentially draw a land the next turn. And the spell one kind of, like, unless the top 2 cards in a row are lands, this way guarantees it. Whereas the other way, the first card is irrelevant, and you're only getting 1 card worth of... is it the same way, actually, if you do it the other way? If you reveal the top card... Oh, no, because then the top card can be anything. That's what it is. There's a slightly reduced chance. So I believe I want to save the most damage this turn. So I hit that. I want Knight to be a 4/4 next turn. So I think I want to fetch this turn so I can't just draw my other basic force and get screwed. I really want my Knight out of range. So here, that's fine. I'm going to spew my Blessed Alliance to kill one of those. Let my opponent throw whatever spells they want at my face here. That's fine. This one. Target opponent sacrifices an attacker. And then next turn, I can Knight as a 4/4, which is a pretty key juncture. 3 is Searing Blaze range or Lightning Bolt range, but this kind of requires my opponent to push 2 cards to get rid of it. Yeah, that's great. Okay, I take some extra damage. You don't get to Skullcrack me in the future. You probably have another Skullcrack based on that. So I'm going to go to 9 with my opponent having a virtual Skullcrack in hand, potentially another burn spell. So I'm pretty dead this game, but who knows. So I can use the knight in the future for bonus damage. There's a debate. I guess I could rebuy the Alliance. So let's think about this. If I rebuy Alliance, I'm chumping with Witness next turn. I then just play the knight the next turn. Whereas this way, I can actually, in theory, if I draw like a Cavern or something, I could play the Witness, get back the Alliance, and use it next turn with the knight activation. So I should just play the knight. Okay. The fact that this hasn't fetched for white, I guess my opponent has Gonti's Machinations, so that's kind of how they have to live their life. Yeah, I'm blocking. There's no chance I'm not blocking. Come on. This is probably a Searing Blaze. Yeah, whatever. That's an acceptable loss. Five. The problem is that if I gain 4 with the Alliance, 9 is not the same as, I think I'm supposed to play the knight. Basically a mana dork anyways. I want to get this fetch on the battlefield. I misclicked, but I didn't want to use it. So it would just kind of hang out. Ooh, Lavamancer. That's kind of a problem. Should probably kill my opponent pretty quickly here. I want to gain the 4 life. Yeah, that was definitely... Because of the Lavamancer, the math changes. I should have had this in play last turn, and I could have fetched EOT and had the extra play of the champion this turn, which would have been huge. I guess I wouldn't want to use it, because I just realized the math on... I actually get to survive against Lavamancer plus 3 damage burn spell here. When I kind of predicted my opponent having a Skull Crack. Throw it at me. Yep. Guess not. Yeah, this is probably lethal burn then. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so I'm just dead. That's fine. Okay, so... Yeah, I don't actually like Thalia in this matchup, now that I think about it. I guess on the play it's probably okay, but on the draw it's kind of a liability because all my good cards are spells. Forge Tender's great, Champion's great, these are all good. Knight's pretty good. I'm gonna play more Knight and just kill my opponent. I'm gonna cut a Reflector on the play because I don't think I need the tempo. I'm gonna leave my spells the same. Blessed Alliance is basically a negate, and again, I think that my opponent exposing Lavamancer makes me want a bunch of those. I like Ewit if the game can get extended a little bit, so I'm not going to cut it. I would cut it for a Pilgrim, if anything, I guess, but I have so many ones that I'm not huge on that. And like I said, I don't like Retreat. I think it's too easy for me to have to pay too much life to it to really combo out. Yeah, this is fine. Pretty nice aggro start. Probably go Champion, Champion, Lieutenant off of this. Not being able to cast the path is an annoyance, but not the end of the world. It's funny that I criticized these cards so much and loved the Allies deck like a year ago or whenever I played that deck with like Kazandu. Did I have Blade Master? It had Ornery Survivalist, Hada Freeblade, and that stuff. I guess that's because every individual creature in that deck could become something giant. So there was never like every single card in the deck was a Champion of the Parish. You actually only played Champion of the Parish because human can't afford to punt this game to that. You only played Champion because all the allies happened to be humans that you were playing. It was just like the worst ally in your deck. Okay. Yeah, I'm not blocking. Get that 1 damage. Okay. Interesting. Believe I want the champion and play the fetch land. And then if Swiss Spear remains a 1, I take it. I might just path regardless, actually. Sure, that's fine. Okay, my opponent playing that land is cool and all. Nice basic in the Gonti's Machination position. Yeah, I'm not blocking. Yeah, so here I get to save a bunch of damage and kill that. I believe I want to get blue-white. I have a green source in my hand, so I definitely want to get this blue-white land. It's like the untapped fetch there. I save 3 damage on the attack, and I'm paying 2 life, so I just actually net a life on that exchange, plus the life from the Burst Lightning. I kind of wonder if I'm supposed to KO to hit my opponent here for 3. I guess 3 is enough that I'm supposed to. I think if it was 2, I would consider waiting and not letting my opponent machinate, but that's fine. 3 is just so much damage. Though I guess they didn't show... I'm not going to one-shot them for 15. I don't even think I'm going to two-shot them because this is only 6. So I think the fact is this is just going to fire regardless of how the game state goes. And I don't want to worry too much about... Ew. Okay, that's awkward. Yeah, I didn't... Okay, well, they just have it, so whatever. They would have had it regardless, because they would have Arid Mesa'd. Okay, so I'm at a virtual 7. I think 7 against 2 cards in hand is safe. No, that's not how I have to tap that. White, red, yeah, those. We're gonna leave up negate next turn. Like I said, they have to be able to deploy, like, all their cards have to be burned. They have to be able to deploy all of them. Yeah, this is fine. This is 9 damage, and they're at a virtual 11. So I have to survive. They can't draw a creature. They have to have, like, all burn. And they can't have 2 Skullcracks here to kill me. Okay, bumps, annoying. Because it means that if they draw, like, land, they're fine. Well, I'm attacking with everything. Now I have to think about what I want to do. So, yeah, that's fine. So any creature is lethal. So that's as good as leaving up negate, because if they have a lightning bolt, they have to spend it on my creature. The only thing they could have that would be obnoxious is deflecting palm. So I think I'm just going to fire. Wow. Okay, that was just perfect. I guess this doesn't work against palm, which is unfortunate, but I don't think there was much I could have done against that. Forgot about hitting Force Tender. That is brutal. Okay, that was sweet. Yeah, Collected Company to Force Tender is some real serious business.